Once upon a time, in a quiet green valley surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling streams, there lived a kind old farmer named Old MacDonald. His farm was not just a piece of land, it was his whole world, filled with animals he loved like family, fields that bloomed with golden corn and bright red apples, and a little red barn that stood proudly in the center of it all. Old MacDonald was a gentle man with a white beard, twinkly blue eyes, and a smile that could warm even the coldest winter day. Every morning, he would wake up with the sun, put on his straw hat, and sing his favorite song as he went about his chores. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. The farm had been in his family for generations. His grandfather had built the first fence, his father had planted the oldest apple tree, and now Old MacDonald cared for it with all his heart. But this is not just a simple tale of a farmer and his animals. This is a full story of joy, friendship, hardship, loss, and the deep love that ties a person to the land and the creatures on it. It is a story that touches the heart, much like the nursery rhymes we all know, but with emotions that run deeper than the surface. Old MacDonald was not always old. Many years ago, when he was just a young man named Tommy MacDonald, he had married a sweet woman named Eliza. She had bright red hair like autumn leaves and a laugh that sounded like birds singing. Together, they dreamed of raising a big family on the farm. They worked side by side, milking cows at dawn, gathering eggs from the henhouse, and planting seeds in the spring. Their life was full of happiness. Eliza would sing to the animals while Tommy fixed the fences, and every evening, they sat on the porch watching the sunset, holding hands. And on that farm, he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O. Tommy would sing, and Eliza would join in, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there. Their first animal was a plump brown cow named Daisy. She was more than livestock, she was their friend. Daisy gave them fresh milk every day, and in return, they brushed her coat until it shone and let her graze in the greenest pastures. Soon, they added pigs to the farm, 3 playful pink piglets who rolled in the mud and made everyone laugh with their oinks. Then came the chickens, a flock of fluffy hens that clucked happily and laid the most delicious eggs. Ducks waddled by the pond, quacking merrily, and sheep with woolly coats bleated softly in the fields. Life was perfect, but dreams sometimes change. Tommy and Eliza tried for years to have children, but it never happened. At first, it made them sad, but they poured all their love into the farm and the animals. "Our animals are our children," Eliza would say, hugging a lamb close. The farm became alive with sounds. Here a moo, there an oink, everywhere a quack quack. Old MacDonald, though he wasn't old yet, had a farm that was full of life and love. One spring, everything changed. A terrible storm swept through the valley. Dark clouds rolled in, thunder boomed like giants fighting in the sky, and rain poured down for days. The stream turned into a raging river, flooding the lower fields. The animals were frightened. Daisy the cow stood in the barn, mooing worriedly. The pigs huddled together, oinking softly. The chickens fluffed their feathers and clucked in fear. Tommy and Eliza worked tirelessly to save what they could. They moved the animals to higher ground, carried hay to keep them dry, and reinforced the barn doors. But the storm was too strong. One night, as lightning flashed, a tree fell onto the henhouse. Many chickens were lost. The next day, when the waters receded, they found some sheep had been swept away. Eliza cried as she buried the little lambs they couldn't save. Tommy held her tight, his own eyes wet with tears. "We'll rebuild," he said bravely. "The farm will be strong again." But the storm had taken more than animals and crops. Eliza caught a bad cold from being out in the rain for so long. Days turned into weeks, and she grew weaker. The doctor from the nearby town came, but there was little he could do. One quiet autumn evening, as the leaves turned golden red, Eliza passed away peacefully in their bed, with Tommy holding her hand. Old MacDonald, now truly feeling old, was heartbroken. For months, he barely left the house. The animals missed Eliza too. Daisy the cow would stand by the fence, mooing sadly as if calling for her. The pigs stopped playing as much, and the ducks swam in slow circles on the pond. The farm, once so full of song and laughter, felt empty and silent. Tommy sat on the porch every night, staring at the stars. "Why," he whispered to the wind. "Why take her from me?" He thought about selling the farm and moving away. The work was too hard alone, the memories too painful. But one morning, something happened that changed everything. As the sun rose, Tommy heard a soft sound from the barn. It was Daisy, mooing gently. He went to check and found that Daisy had given birth to a tiny calf during the night. The little one was wobbly on its legs, with big brown eyes just like its mother. Tommy knelt down and petted the calf. It nuzzled against him, warm and full of life. In that moment, something stirred in Tommy's heart. This little calf needed him. All the animals needed him. Eliza had loved this farm, loved these creatures. If he left, what would happen to them? He remembered her words. Our animals are our children. This calf was like a gift from her, a reminder that life goes on. From that day forward, Tommy threw himself back into the farm. He repaired the fences, planted new crops, and welcomed more animals. He got a loyal dog named Spot to help herd the sheep. Spot barked joyfully, running around with endless energy. Then came horses, strong and gentle, who neighed proudly as they pulled the plow. Goats joined the family, climbing on everything and bleating mischievously. Even turkeys strutted around the yard, gobbling at anyone who came near. Old MacDonald, as the neighbors now called him, started singing again. His voice was a bit rusty at first, but soon the valley echoed with his song. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a dog, E-I-E-I-O. With a woof woof here and a woof woof there. The animals seemed to sing along in their own way. The farm came alive once more. Years passed. Old MacDonald grew older, his beard turning white, his steps a little slower. But his heart was full. Children from the town would visit, wide-eyed at all the animals. He taught them how to milk Daisy, who was now very old but still gentle, how to collect eggs, and how to sing the song. Everyone has a farm in their heart, he would tell them. It's where you keep the things you love. One winter, when snow blanketed the fields, Old MacDonald felt tired deep in his bones. He knew his time was coming. He spent his days sitting by the fire, with Spot curled at his feet and the cat purring on his lap. The animals gathered close, as if they understood. On a beautiful spring morning, just as the flowers bloomed and the birds returned, Old MacDonald passed away peacefully in his sleep. The neighbors found him with a smile on his face, as if he were dreaming of Eliza. The town mourned the kind old farmer. But they knew what to do. The farm was turned into a special place, a sanctuary where animals could live happily, and children could come to learn and play. People from far and wide visited, singing the song that Old MacDonald had made famous. And if you listen closely on a quiet day, you can still hear it in the wind. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. With a moo-moo here, and an oink-oink there. Here a quack, there a baa. Everywhere a neigh-neigh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. His story lives on. A tale of love that never ends, of a man who found family in the animals around him, and who taught everyone that even in sadness, there is hope, and in loss, there is new life. The farm reminds us that kindness, hard work, and a song in your heart can heal anything. And that's the full emotional story of Old MacDonald and his farm, a story for everyone, young and old, to remember forever.